Hi, welcome to the very first episode of Wishful Thinking. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I just said that. This has been something on my mind for honestly like a month now, which doesn't sound like a long time, to be frank, but genuinely, like, I have wanted to start a series, post content, do something semi creative for so freaking long now. And ever since I've had this idea to start a podcast, I've genuinely just like ran with it. I became obsessed. And mind you, I'm a college student. I should introduce myself. Hi, my name is Abby. I'm a 21-year-old college student and I'm back home for the summer in the Bay Area. So, shout out to my Bay baddies. I have been thinking about starting a podcast since about a month ago, to be honest. I've been obsessed with it. I was working on logos, making that little intro you guys just saw, just genuinely obsessed with this thing for the past month. And I just decided to say, fuck it. I bought a microphone and now I am committed to doing this thing for every week for the rest of my life. Okay, I don't know about the rest of my life, but I'm committing to doing a podcast basically every Thursday for the foreseeable future. And I hope you guys are willing to come along for the ride. Yeah, I just love yapping and I love sitting in the car. I love the vibes that cars bring and just like chatting with other people. I don't know if any of you guys can relate. I'm sure it's a like very common experience, but just like having those deep talks in the car with your friends or like I don't know, it's just such a like core memory. Like anytime I've had a chat with anyone in a car for like a prolonged amount of time, it's like a core memory in my brain. Every like anytime, like genuinely. I don't know, there's just something special about sitting in a car with your friends, and this podcast is meant to emulate sitting in the car with your friend, me. We're friends now. But yeah, I just decided to buy a fucking microphone and start a podcast. Now, I kind of have a weird relationship with podcasts because ever since I discovered podcasts, I kind of hated them. Mainly because the only podcasts that I knew about were like the alt-right, pipeline, like very manosphere centric podcasts. I don't really want to name any names, but like that is what I thought of when I thought of podcasts for like such a long time. And then I finally started getting into some of the creators that I watch, like some of their podcasts, and it kind of made me be like, wait, I actually really fuck with podcasts because they kind of are just like a hangout session. They're very like chill, but at the same time you really get to like know someone, or like I don't know, it's just like a good way to get your thoughts out there and also listen to other people's thoughts, and it's something to put on in the background, and like, or you could fully like lock in and watch it. I don't know. So that is why I wanted to start one. I decided that I went from hating podcasts to loving them, and now I have a podcast, and I called it Wishful Thinking because I am a very optimistic person. I like to think of myself that way. I'm very hopeful. I like to see the good and the positive in any situation. That's not me like 100% of the time, okay? But I'd say overall in general, like that's my outlook in life. I like to think that everything happens for a reason. Things will come to you when they're meant to, and like I just think everything's gonna happen. I'm still getting used to this whole podcast thing, okay? Anyways, yeah, I just like to see the good in everybody and all situations. I like to be optimistic even in the worst of times, and I have a really strong belief and faith in myself personally to achieve my dreams. So I want to spread that joy and love and hopefulness out into the world, and that is why I called the podcast Wishful Thinking. Okay. And I just wanted to show you guys, we have a little drink of the pod. I have an Arizona iced tea with lemon. I kind of just like stole this from my fridge. I have no idea whose this is, but it's my drink of the podcast now, so hope you guys enjoy. I probably will try to cut out me taking sips, but I just love a chat in the car, sipping a bev. Yeah. Okay. I actually do have things to talk about for this episode. I'm not just here to like sit around and yap about nothing. The topic of today's episode is going to be friendship, okay? And I know I kind of already touched on that because we're friends now and we have this car podcast chatting situation going on. But I also just wanted to do a deep dive into friendship and how it evolves, how it pertains to my life currently, and also when it's time to let go of friendships. So, the full life cycle of a friendship. Oh, sorry for bumping you there. This is literally my first time ever using a microphone, and I kind of like forget they're really sensitive. Like, if I touch it, it's gonna be like. So, anyways, first off, I'm a psychology major. I don't know if you could tell. I actually don't know what major. Oh my god, this shirt is driving me crazy, but I wanted to wear it for a specific reason, and I'll get into that later. But this shirt, the strap, like just it hates staying on my shoulder, and I don't know what to do about it. Anyways, yeah, this is my first time using a microphone. Where was I going? Oh my god, you guys, I am gonna be losing my train of thought often. And we're all just gonna have to get used to it. So, yeah, friendship. I'm a psychology major, so I know a thing or two about friendship, okay? I'm just gonna be analyzing friendship from that perspective, though, from the perspective of being me, someone who's studying psychology, and also just like how friendships have gone throughout my life, because I think that I'm someone that a lot of people do like want to be friends with, which sounds very conceited, but I honestly, even though there have been plenty of times where I have felt like so extremely lonely and friendless, there have always been people who have been in my corner or like wanted to be my friend, and I'm honestly grateful for that. So I definitely think that my experience and perspective on friendship can be really different from a lot of people's. So keep that in mind when I share anything. But first off, when you're a baby or when you're like a toddler, elementary age kid, your friendships are purely based off of the people that you play well with, that you are play compatible with, okay? Because that is the extent of friendship. It's literally like running around circles in the playground, doing cartwheels in the grass, and playing with like your action figures or Barbies. That is friendship at that age. And then as you get older, your tweens, teens, that is when friendships actually develop vulnerability and intimacy, and they actually become more complex relationships. I recently was learning about this in my developmental psych class this past quarter. And I mean, it's honestly kind of just like innate knowledge, which I think is something that makes me feel kind of stupid as a psychology major, because I feel like so many things that I learn, once I learn them, I'm like, well, no shit. Like, this seems almost obvious. But it's also something that, like, people need to study to, like, verify or understand the mechanisms of it. Anyways, yeah, once you get older, your friendships get more complex and more deep, and that is the phase of life I am in now. Actually, I would like to argue, or I'd like to propose that there's actually a next stage in friendship, and I'm sure it'll even evolve as I get older, but I would argue that in your early 20s, friendships are also evolving into a new stage of life. Beyond just like having an intimate, close relationship or friendship with the people in your life, once you leave high school and like everyone goes out into their own world, into their own lives, you kind of have to now evaluate your friendships on an effortful basis. Who are the friends that are actually investing time into you? Who are the friends that you're just dumping energy into and not getting anything in return? It's a lot about like who is actually making the effort to see you and fitting you into their schedule. It's definitely a lot more than just having a close emotional relationship, because as adults, I mean, it takes time to develop, but it's not something that is as scary as when you're a developing teenager. You have a better sense of who you are, and even if you're still figuring it out, you know what you want in a friendship, you know what you don't want in a friendship, and if that's something that you're not aware of yet, you will quickly become aware of it in this phase of life, okay? Like I mentioned, I'm only 21, so I'm very new to my 20s, and I'm still kind of discovering this, but I think especially since I've newly gone to college, it's really put a lot of my friendships, at least in my mind, it's really put a lot of my friendships to be tested, and had me like evaluating them. But I also knew, as everyone kind of assumes or thinks of, college is like the best time to make new friends. And that is honestly something that I kind of put a lot of pressure on myself to do. And I think it was obviously for the better, but it definitely wasn't something that was there's a mailman walking by. It was definitely not something that was innately easy for me to do. I actually actively have been reflecting on the fact that every single quarter. Oh my god, my bow got untied. When did that happen? This top is genuinely giving me so much trouble. Let me know if you guys want me to sell it on Depop, okay? Because she's cute, but she doesn't work for me that well. Anyways, I've been honestly thinking a lot about how my friendship making abilities have evolved since oh my god, I really hope this is a good microphone because there's like a bunch of like just random noise coming around in like all different directions, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyways, so I go to UC Davis. Go Aggies. Go Aggies. And I'm a transfer student, which means I didn't go there my first or second year of college. I did that at a community college local to me. And then this past year, I went in for my first year as a junior. Just explaining what being a transfer in college means to anyone who's curious. But if you're of the age of deciding to go to college, I honestly do recommend being a transfer. You know, a lot of people make the most of their experience in community college and then go to a super amazing school, and it's cheaper to only pay for 2 years of a 4-year institution tuition. For me, I did not make the most of my community college experience. I honestly just went there to do school and dip, and for that reasons, I was a very lonely person in community college. Literally, the only person I had around me that I put effort into was my boyfriend, which was my fault, my bad. But yeah, I didn't make the most effort to make friends in community college, which is honestly my fault. I definitely know plenty of people now who like put effort and made friends in community college, which is like so great for them. But yeah, so when I went to Davis this past year, I was really determined to make new friends. And my first quarter there, we are the quarter system, so I had 3 quarters. The first quarter, I went in with the mindset of like, I don't chase, I attract, and that doesn't work that good with friendships. I'm not gonna lie, because if people are making effort with you and you are not putting the effort back in to maintain friendships, make plans, be reciprocal, text them, I don't know, you're not gonna make a friend. I don't really know. I just thought like I don't chase, I attract could apply to everything. It does not apply to friendships, okay? I will say I did like attract friendships into my life, okay? Like people would come up to me and invite me to parties or like hangouts or whatever. Like I had the attract part down, but I wasn't making the effort to continue these bonds. I was honestly constantly just looking for more. I was like, I want to find different people. So like let me like attract different people. Like I don't know. It was honestly just not the best way to go about friendship because I just genuinely like just gained a bunch of Instagram mutuals and ran into people at parties, and that was the extent of my friendship my first quarter in Davis. Don't get me wrong, I had a great time. I definitely wanted to like spend my first quarter getting used to the quarter system and everything, but girl, I did not make a single like friend. Maybe I made some friends, but they were like distant friends. I didn't make any close friendships that like I wanted to like put effort into and text and like make hangouts with. Like I don't know, I just didn't do that for some reason. And so my second quarter, I started to get more involved with clubs on campus, which I highly, highly recommend that you do that when you go to college. I didn't join any clubs in high school, so I can't really compare the experience of being in a club in high school versus a club in college. But clubs in college are just so good. I have joined a couple and I've just met so many cool people, had shared interests immediately, and like I've actually made actual friendships in these clubs. So I highly recommend joining some. Anyways, my second quarter, I made one friend. I made one friend, but I made one really, really good friend. Shout out to my girl Moth. I love you. But yeah, she was honestly like my first like good friend that I made in Davis. Okay, we started like texting pretty regularly. She took me to her house. I met her cat. I just wow. And then also we're in a club together, so we would see each other pretty often. So yeah, I made progress from my first to second quarter, made a friend. And then my third quarter, honestly, it was kind of pretty much the same as my second quarter until the second half. After my birthday, which my birthday's May 5th, that's when I turned 21, I decided I'm tired of not being an outgoing person, putting myself out there. I'm tired of holding myself back from the things that I want to do. There was this one club, it's actually called FAD, so I'll actually shout out this club specifically. It stands for Fashion and Design Society, and it's full of really cool creatives, and they do these editorial shoots, and I have been seeing them on Instagram since I went to Davis, and I really wanted to go to this club for the longest time. I just kept being too intimidated by all of the baddies in the club that I just didn't go until they were doing the editorial shoots for my third quarter, so it took me 3 quarters to go. But yeah, I went, I signed up for some shoots, and then boom, from there I did the shoots, met a bunch of really cool, fun people. I just had a good old dandy time. And yeah, I've definitely like made a lot more friends since participating in that club, and it's only been like, I only went to like 2 meetings, but through the shoots I've just met so many people. My point is, I just like decided one day, like, no, I'm gonna be outgoing, I'm gonna go to the places that I want to go, regardless of if I'm gonna know anybody there or not. Like, just putting myself out there, like, the best way to make friends is just to put yourself out there, be open to receiving them, but also once you receive them, putting the effort back into them, you know, like asking for numbers, making plans, like all this stuff. I finally started doing that, and then boom, suddenly I feel like I have a lot of friends and my life is abundant. I don't know. It's just like, it's like, I don't know, it's like the type of stuff that you know, but you've got to do it. And you're like, wait, I don't want to do it. Well, I do want to do it, but I'm not doing it for some reason. And I don't know what's up with that. So that's my current status with friendship. I honestly just feel so much more comfortable, like, asking people to hang out, texting people randomly. Like, I don't know, it just feels weird. I just decided one day, like, no, I'm actually gonna be an outgoing person. I'm actually gonna stop, like, putting things on a pedestal that scare me and intimidate me away from doing them. And then suddenly, like, my world just opened up. It was insane. Like, literally, like, the last half of my spring quarter was insanely busy, but also insanely fun. So that's my advice. Just put yourself out there. Don't hold yourself back from doing the things you want to do, because I will talk myself out of plans so often, and it's like the worst trait ever, because I will only talk myself out of plans if I'm going by myself. If I'm going with other people, like, I'm not a flaker. I'm not a flaker unless, like, I actually, like, have a personal reason to not go. But with myself and my like plans to just do things by myself, and like other people will be there, I'm a huge flaker. Like, I genuinely, like, I don't know. I have no problem with going on a solo date. But if I'm going somewhere by myself and I know there's going to be a bunch of people there, suddenly I'm like scared to show up alone. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with that, but I have conquered that fear and we're moving on. I just think friendship in your 20s is really easy to do, honestly. And now, granted, I am in college, and college is notoriously a very easy place to make friends. And even then, I've like been my own barrier in doing that. But I do think that, like, regardless of what your situation is in this phase of life, there's always going to be places to meet new people, at the party, at the club, at work, at your local coffee shop. Like, I just think there's always opportunities and chances to meet new people. It's just like you gotta physically put yourself out there, or even like at a fitness class, an art class, like just like doing your hobbies by yourself and then running into people who have that shared interest with you. Boom, like immediate friendship, you know what I mean? Like, you already have a connection on some level based off of like where you're running into each other. So that's my advice for making friends. You know, I definitely struggled because I hated putting myself out there and putting effort into people, but suddenly I decided, no, I'm tired of like being my own fucking, I'm tired of being a bitch to myself. Like, I don't know how, I don't know how other, I don't know what other way to put it, but I was genuinely being a bitch to myself. I was like, you don't deserve to go out to these places. You don't fit in with these people. They're not gonna like you. Like, why the fuck am I telling myself that in my head? You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, I'm fucking sick of you, and I'm actually gonna go do that shit myself. Anyways, I'm gonna take a break because my phone is low-key overheating. Okay, but we'll be back to finish the pod, I swear. Okay. Hi, we're back. Sorry I had to take a little break. My phone was overheating, first of all. But second, I genuinely, during the break, was low-key tweaking the fuck out because I thought that I didn't record any of the audio from the past like 20 minutes. Which is really, really fun to do for your very first podcast episode. Um, but no, the microphone is working. I was like, there's literally only one button. There's the on and off button. So I was like, how the fuck am I messing this up? Anyways, yeah, so I was talking about friendship, I was talking about college. I mentioned fads. Genuinely life-changing experience, met so many cool people. Boom. And also like I have the shared interest of fashion. I've always like been really into fashion and like that type of stuff, like design, editorials, shoots, like I've always been really into it. I obviously didn't decide to pursue it as a major in college, just because I was like, I'm not an artistic person, but I do like being creative and I have a vision. I just don't ever feel like I'm the person that can execute things. I don't know. That's probably something I should work on, but my point is, I joined this club, met a bunch of cool people who are very creative and inspiring, and that's kind of something I recognize that I want in a friendship. People that inspire me, people that I like almost look up to and like want to be like, or just like push me out of my comfort zone into doing things that I want to do. It's just been really refreshing to meet a lot of people like that. And I also wanted to talk about one of the shoots that I did this past quarter. It was called My Little Metro. It low-key went a little cray-cray on Instagram, one of the videos. I was gonna say viral, but like I hate the word viral low-key because you either must be talking about an infection or you're a millennial movie that's trying to cater to Gen Z. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh my god, this post went viral. Like, no one actually talks like that. But it's like the word I want to use for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, I was a part of this shoot called My Little Metro. It's basically like 2010's not podcast, 2010's like iPod advertisement, Fritiger Arrow, I think I'm saying that right. X like My Little Pony. And it's just like the coolest concept ever for a shoot. I was Rarity in it and I actually wore this top, which is why I wanted to wear it today because I was like, I know I'm gonna talk about it. So that's why I wear the top. That explains that. But yeah, I was a part of the shoot. It was so fucking good. If you guys want to see the full shoot, go to at looking over us on Instagram. Lou, he was the creative director and his mind is fucking insane. Like genuinely the vision was crazy. And there was this video, like a little dance video edited by one of the designers. Everyone's like credited in the captions and stuff like that. So like go check everyone out because they're all so freaking talented. It's insane. But yeah, the video from the shoot got like not got like 200K likes on Instagram and has like 100 or not 100 has like 1 million views. Insane. I don't know if this is like not I don't know if this is just like, oh, that's like a whatever, but like the fact that I was a part of it and in it, like for granted like 2 seconds, but the fact that I was like in this video is like insane to me. Like this is like the most popular, blown up, viral, I guess, thing that I've ever been a part of. Because I think the most likes I've ever gotten on a post before is like maybe 300, okay? And the weirdest part, which, okay, I don't want to be like, oh, like social media numbers, woo! But like genuinely, the most likes I've ever gotten in my life, I think when was on an Instagram post when I was like 15. And I sometimes think about that. I'm like, why the fuck was like, not my peak, but my peak Instagram engagement, why the fuck was it when I was like 15 years old? Can someone explain that to me? Like maybe people's Instagram like habits or like usages, like patterns have changed and so people like are liking less posts. Like maybe the liking market is undersaturated, oversaturated. I don't know. Like maybe people are liking less posts, but I'm like that's fucking insane to think about that like the most popular I ever was on Instagram, which is so superficial, by the way, but it was when I was 15, and my fucking 15-year-old brain was like, oh my god, I need more! Ah! Like, every post had to be every post that I did had to be, like, my most liked post ever. It was insane, and, like, I cared so much about, like, followers and, like, numbers and, like, whatever bullshit. I mean, granted, like, I kind of care about that now still, too, but, like, not as much as I did before, because I, like, once, I don't remember when I did this actually. I don't know if I was in high school or it was after high school, but I did like a big Instagram cleanse. And it was just so fun to be like, I don't want you to see my stuff anymore, like blah, blah, blah. And again, granted, I'm now public and I'm like, I don't care who follows me, but there was a point in my life where I was like, no, I'm gonna like be super mysterious and underground and I'm just gonna have 300 people on my Instagram, which 300 people is still a lot, okay? Like, imagine being in a room with 300 people. You'd be like, holy shit, this is a lot of people. But no, for Instagram, I'm like, that's such a small number. Like, social media makes you think numbers are like so small. Like, even when me saying, like, oh, it had 1 million views, 200,000 likes, I've never seen that many fucking people in my life. But for some reason, I'm like, is that a lot of likes? I don't know. But I think it's a lot, okay? And I just am like, I can't believe I was a part of this thing. It was insane. Anyways, I just wanted to shout that out. But also, I wanted to talk about the theme because it was My Little Pony. And the thesis of My Little Pony, funny enough, is friendship is magic, okay? Friendship is magic. Um, which I think is such a beautiful message for a kids show. Like, yeah, friendship fucking is magic, okay? Because friendship, what the a good friend is supposed to make you feel like you can do anything, you can be anyone, you can do anything, conquer anything. Like, that's the magic of friendship, truly. Like, those fucking little ponies, fucking little, those My Little Ponies, you know, they were battling some crazy things and tackling some difficult issues, but they did it through the friendship of magic. Wait, through the magic of friendship. I got that reversed. My bad. But yeah, I just think that that is the ideal friendship that someone would want to have. One that makes you feel like magic. Anyways, now to get to the last topic, which is in the same topic of friendship, but when to end a friendship. Okay. This is something that I wanted to talk about just because of what has been transpiring in my personal life as of lately. I'm not gonna like go into any details because I don't want to like talk about people behind their back on the internet. I don't know. Now how many people are gonna see this podcast? Who knows? But just in case, like I'm not spilling any beans. I'm sorry. But I've recently gone through a little bit of a friendship breakup. I've been calling it a friendship break, but it has potential to be a friendship breakup. And it was initiated by me, actually. As I kind of have mentioned, my friendship circle, my life, the friendships in my life have just been feeling so abundant lately. I just feel like I have so many friends, and even if I don't have so many friends, I feel like my cup is so full. And it's kind of allowed me to be more hypercritical of the friendships that I do choose to keep in my life, the friendships that I'm choosing to maintain in my life. And that has kind of unfortunately led me to the conclusion of letting go of some friendships that have been quite long standing in my life, actually. Which is kind of really hard and scary. And everyone I talk to about it, they're shocked, but they also like understand where I'm coming from. I just have had these friends in my life for such a long time, and we've been such good friends for such a long time. But I think, especially since I've moved away, our physical distance has been greater, but also my personal emotional distance has also felt greater. Not just mine, but like both ways. It's just felt like we've had a greater emotional distance. We've had more, or a lot less effort put into the friendship. Um, Maybe on both ends, maybe on their end, it doesn't matter, but it's just kind of led me to feel like I don't want to feel this way in a friendship. I don't want to feel neglected. I don't want to feel uncared for or like unimportant. And unfortunately, these friendships have been making me feel that way, and it's led me to just having a text conversation, okay? Because I'm not a very confrontational person, but I'm trying to be, and so text, not in person, not phone call, just text. But I also do firmly believe that text is like low-key the best medium for certain conversations, because being in person or on the phone can like increase your anxiety and like just make things a little bit more awkward or uncomfortable, which I think it's really good to feel awkward and uncomfortable, but you can also feel that over text. And so, yeah, I had these conversations over text about how I've been feeling in the friendship, and like unfortunately, I did just jump to like, look, I don't know if I want to be friends with you guys anymore. And maybe I could have been more rational and had a conversation, but like I said, I think I just feel so abundant in my friendships right now that I feel okay with letting some friendships go. Um oh, and it feels hard, it feels scary, it feels selfish, but sometimes the right thing to do is to let some friendships go. You know, if a friendship is no longer serving you, it's time to recognize that that friendship could be holding you back from your true potential, from meeting new people, spending time with other people. They could be draining your energy. You know, there's just so many reasons to let go of friendships. And I honestly think it's a really healthy thing to do, to like audit and evaluate the friendships that you have in your life and decide if you want to keep them, especially in your 20s. Because your 20s are the time to make new friends. And like, if you have friends that you don't really necessarily like anymore, or that you don't want to spend time with anymore, like creating a distance between you guys is like gonna only ever open you up to other opportunities. I am just like such a firm believer in like closing one door and like 10 other doors are gonna open for you. And so I kind of just like saw this situation through that lens. Maybe that's me being optimistic. I also think it's just like I've been battling these like difficult emotions with this friend situation for such a long time. Might have been kind of a silent battle, but I also do feel like I have communicated my feelings to them um at certain points in time, and maybe they weren't received in the way that I thought they'd be received, but yeah, I just felt okay. I just honestly feel really okay with it now. I think like since it's honestly like just been so recent, it's been this past week, and I think my body's been a little bit in mourning, but my mind feels so clear and so free, and I'm really excited for the summer to hang out with friends that put effort into me and that make me feel wanted all the time and never make me question that. If you have any friends that make you question that, have a conversation with them, or maybe recognize it's time to let them go. I really like doing hard things. It just makes me feel so much stronger and out the other end. And oh my god, I hate that I'm filming this in the car because my phone keeps wanting to overheat. Um, but yeah, I think I said most of what I want to say for the episode, so I think I'm gonna be wrapping it up. Um, yeah, I guess I didn't really talk about the ending friendship thing for very long, but like, I think it's something that your intuition will tell you, and you should listen to your intuition. My intuition was kind of telling me this, or hinting me with this, or priming me for this for like honestly a long time. The more that I reflect on the friendship with these people that I've let go, the more things that I see that were not serving me, and it just makes me feel so much lighter. It makes me feel all the better for making this decision. I feel like I've had, especially like at least my parents, almost try to talk me out of this. And while like other people might not share your same opinion, it's your life and it's your situation, and like they're not the ones in the friendship. They just have their outsider perspective, which I'm so grateful for my parents and like them caring about me enough to be like, are you sure? And like checking in on me and all these things. But I'm like, guys, I just genuinely feel like I feel so much lighter and like a weight off my chest. Like I have been sitting on this and thinking about this and talking about this with other friends for like the longest time, that it just, I just know that it's time. And I don't think letting go of friendship should be something that you think of or take, it shouldn't be something that you take lightly, but it's also something that you shouldn't be too scared to do ever. Ever. Like you should always be ready and willing to let people go who are no longer serving you. And friendship is supposed to serve you. Friendship is supposed to be magical and fun and lighthearted, but also deep and vulnerable. And sometimes friendships are lacking those things. And obviously, not every friendship has to have all of those things too. There's different friends for different reasons. Also, there's like the saying that you're a friend for a reason, for a season, or a lifetime. You know, evaluating what your friends are and their place in your life, it's not something that you're always going to know immediately. You're kind of going to just kind of have to roll with the punches with that one. But I feel better about the situation now that it's off my chest, off my plate, out of my notes app, more importantly. Who else drafts their text in their notes app? I was telling my friend, my roommate actually, the other day, I was like, girl, if you ever need help, I could write a mean notes app drafted paragraph. Okay, not mean, but like, you know what I mean? Like good. Like really good, well phrased. Like I think that's my strength. Like genuinely. I've always been really good at making my point across over text. Not as much in person, but always been good at it over text. So if you guys ever need help, let me know. Oh my god, I look like I have a bob on this side. Guys, should I have a bob? No, I've been growing out my hair for so long. That's not gonna happen. Anyways, oh my gosh. I need to find a cooler location to film next week's episode. So I will be figuring that out in the meantime. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this very first episode of the podcast. I hope you guys tune in next week. It's only up from here because I'm still learning. It's my first time using a microphone, first time filming here. Like, there's a lot of improvements to be made, but I really appreciate you guys for watching and tuning in. I'm really trying to think if I have any last words before I end this. Have a great day. Take care of yourself. If you enjoyed this podcast episode, maybe share it with a friend, and then you guys can both claim your day one tickets. Take your day one tickets here. Also, check me out on my social medias, Instagram and TikTok. I'm trying to post on TikTok more. My goal for the summer is to post on TikTok every single day. Have I been doing that? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes and what we're at. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, check me out on there and also on Instagram. My Instagram, they're both the same as my YouTube. It's all the same, guys. I like to keep everything very simple. Everything is at the same username at whatever, same handle. So it's very simple, very easy to find me everywhere. Yeah, follow my Instagram though, because when school comes around again, I will be doing more of those really cool shoots. So you don't want to miss those. And yeah, thank you guys for joining me on the first I feel like I said that 100 times. Thank you guys for joining me on the first podcast episode. I'm hella not nonchalant, okay? I'm gonna say thank you and like all that shit 100 million times. But thank you. Thank you for watching my first episode. It's only up from here. Wait. I did not. Okay, sorry. I hope that didn't sound disgusting. It's really fucking hot in this car though, so I'm gonna head out if that's okay with you guys. But I will see you guys next week. So, toodles.